What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your homie, FuturisticMike, and I'm back with another Power Book 3 Raising Kanan video if you're new. Now, this is going to be the review and recap for Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, Season 1, Episode 4, titled Don't Sleep. If you're a fan of Power, if you love Power, hit the like on this video. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're finding me, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when I post videos on Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, you get them. Now, the description for this episode reads, all bets are off when a police raid clears out Rock's competition, promises are broken, secrets are revealed, and revenge is swift. Now, another solid episode in my opinion. I'm going to rate it 8 out of 10. We didn't see Malcolm Howard or Shannon Burke in this episode. They had an episode without the detectives, but it was still a good episode, man. Kanan, he definitely changed in this episode. I'm going to say for sure, he definitely changed. We're going to see from now on, he's a changed person because of what happened to him, man. It was a traumatic incident, and he's definitely going to change after this. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is changing. He said he was ready for this life, man, so he should have seen something like that coming. But when the episode first starts, we see Unique chasing down this dude, and it's a dude that he's close with. I guess these two have history and they go way back, because we hear 50 Cent narrating and he's saying that these two have major history. They go back, far back. Now, Unique thinks somebody played him, man, and he thinks it's this dude. And he's like, man, why would you do that to me? And old boy's like, man, I wouldn't even do that. For real, I wouldn't. And Unique is questioning him, and Unique ends up shooting and killing him, man. And right before Unique does that, he tells Unique that he loves him. And then Unique's like, I love you too, after he does it. But he shot him right in the head. So we see that Unique is not playing around. Now next, we see Kanan's making dinner, and Rock walks in with Symphony, and Kanan doesn't look happy at all. You know, he said he was supposed to cook for Rock, and Symphony sits down with them and eats with them. And Symphony's like, dang, Kanan, where'd you learn how to cook? Because he thought the spaghetti was good. And Kanan was just giving him attitude. And Symphony apologizes because he didn't know that Kanan cooks for his mom on a certain day. And Kanan's like, she knew. But he was just mad about the whole situation. Now next we see Nicole and Jukebox, and they're at Nicole's house. And they turn on that video of them singing. And Nicole's loving it. And her parents walk in. First her mom, and her mom's like, oh my God, what is this? You guys were on TV? And then her dad walks in and says, dang, this is better than most of the stuff on the radio these days. And her parents are loving it, and they get introduced to Jukebox. And when they leave, Jukebox says, your parents seem nice. And she says, they are, but not about everything. Now next we see Marvin smashing Tony, and I knew this was coming. We seen Tony touching his stuff in the last episode. In this episode, they're smashing. And it's crazy because in the first episode, she was smashing somebody else on that same bed. Like, how many dudes has she brought to that place and smashed on that bed? But it is what it is. Marvin told her straight up that he's not trying to cuddle because she's trying to get all close to him and stuff. And he's like, man, ain't no brothers I know trying to cuddle. And he got pretty mad about it. And he said, man, that dog seems hungry. When's the last time you fed him? And she says it's been a minute since she fed him. And Marvin says he's taking the dog because the dog ain't gonna go hungry like that. And she's like, why? You gave him to me as a gift. And he's like, I gave that dick to you as a gift too, but you don't see that staying here. Marvin was cold with it, man. He did not care at all. Now next we see Unique on the phone with Dean, and he's putting a hold on things. And he gets off the phone and he's talking to his peoples, and he's trying to figure out exactly what the hell happened, what went wrong and everything. And then he says that Rock's stink is all over this shit. He said he has to figure out if he's gonna go for the body or the head. Unique really is not playing, man. I like his character, and I also like Rock's character. I just don't like that these two groups, these two crews are going at it like this. Now next we see Kanan washing the dishes, and he's mad, man. He's salty because she brought Symphony over. And he says, you know I cook for you a certain day of the week. And she says she's sorry and everything. But she's like, look, you can't be worrying about who I'm with and stuff like that. Like, it can't go down like that. She said you need to focus on your studies, man, on your books. And she said from now on, Kanan has to go to a certain class 2 days a week and on Saturday. Of course, he is not happy to hear that because he just wants to move up in the business. And she said she's taking all that away from him. He just has to focus on his work. Now, next we see Famous in the booth and he's recording. And we hear Crown listening to what he has. And when he's done, Crown keeps it real with him. He's like, man, I liked what you said on that last bar, but the rest of it was kind of corny to me, man. He told him to take his time in the booth and write some more and holler at him when he's ready. And Jessica's out there talking to Crown, and she's just saying how much she appreciates this and stuff like that for getting her brother Famous in the booth. And she hugs him, and Lou walks in and he sees that shit. And he's not happy. You can tell by the look on his face. And he throws the package at Crown. And he tells Jessica that he needs to holler at her outside. So they go outside. And he's like, man, why are you here? What are you doing? And she said, look, I'm hustling. I'm trying to put my brother on. And Lou's like, what happened to that stuff you were talking about? I should just go on with my music and stuff. And Jessica says, look, I can't do nothing for you. You have to do it for yourself. She said, all I can do is tell you and encourage you. You have to put the work in. And eventually, Lou quits complaining. You know, he understands. And she says she has to get back in there. And he kisses her. Now, next we see Rock looking at the door that's going to have the stash in it. And the owner of the bodega is complaining, saying, man, what is going on? What are you doing? How much more do you have to bring here? And Rock says, look, you don't need to worry about that. This is my business. And he's like, man, I need to know what's going on in my business, in my place of business. And she said, no, I run this. And she gave him money. And of course, this shuts him up. Once he sees the amount, he has nothing to say. And his wife was like smiling, like she's happy to see there's some new owners pretty much around here because she don't want to have to listen to her husband. Her husband seems abusive as hell. But Rock wants Marvin to move the stash. Now, we see Kanan with Davina, and they're just talking, man. They're really bonding and getting closer and stuff like that. And Kanan's like, man, would you believe that my mom brought some dude over when I was supposed to make dinner for her? It was just supposed to be me and her. He said every Tuesday. And Davina's like, man, at least y'all eat as a family. She said, I don't even know where my mom is right now. But her and Kanan kiss. And Kanan says he'll holler at her later. And then we see somebody watching Davina. And it turns out to be Unique and one of his boys. And Unique is like, what's up, baby girl? I ain't seen you around since Buck passed. And he's like, what's up with you? And then he gets out because he wants to talk to her. And he's walking with her. And he's telling her a story about how he got somebody clean. And he's like, look, I can do that for your mom too. I can help her get clean so she's better. And Davina's like, for real? And he's like, yeah, I just need a little bit of love from you. And he's like, look, what was you doing with Rock's little boy? He says something about Kanan probably knows more than he's telling her because D-Wiz was Kanan's boy and stuff like that. And Davina's like, nah, me and Kanan already talked about that. He don't know nothing. And Unique is like, if you want me to help your mom, I need you to show me a little bit of love because I'm showing you some love. And Davina's like, I seen Kanan at some house the other day. And Unique's like, for real? Where at? So I just knew Davina couldn't be trusted, man. I called this like a week ago in one of my videos. I said that she was gonna snitch. I said she couldn't be trusted. And what do you know? She told Unique about the stash house. Now next, Kanan and Jukebox are playing some games, like some arcade games. And Famous comes in and he's telling them about how he got in the studio, about how his sister's hooking him up with Crown Camacho and stuff like that. He's saying how he's gonna be performing in front of some industry people and he's trying to make it big. And he goes over and talks to Juke and she runs out, man. She acts salty as hell. And Famous is like, what is that about? Now next we see Marvin. He goes to get Scrappy to move the stash and Scrappy answers the door and he looks sick as hell. And Marvin is like, man, come on. we gotta move the stash. And he's like, no, I'm sick. I had some bad Kung Pao chicken. And Marvin's like, come on, man, there's a bathroom at the bodega. You gonna be all right. And he's like, nigga, did you hear what I just said? My ass is leaking. I ain't going nowhere. I thought this part was funny as hell, man. I had to go to Twitter and tweet it and everything because he really said my ass is leaking. I'm just like, what, bro? I'm weak. Now, next we see Kanan catching up with Jukebox. He's talking to her, and she said that it's not fair that Famous just gets in the booth just like that with the help of his sister, and she has to do everything and hustle and get money and do all this stuff just to try to get in the booth. And Kanan says, man, I feel you, but it's coming eventually. He was just trying to talk some sense into her. She wasn't trying to hear it, man. So she walked on off, and Marvin pulls up, and he's like, Kanan, I need your help. He said he needs help with the stash, and Kanan's like, man, mom told me not to touch the stash. She said it's off limits. And he says we'll be in and out so fast she won't even know we were there. Now, in the trailer for this episode, I thought they were going to rob somebody. That's what I said in my what to expect. I didn't expect them to be going to mess with the stash, but that's what they were doing, man. They got to go and move the stash. Now, next we see Rock talking to this guy that works in the apartments, and she's saying that she needs 2 units on top of each other. And he said there's no available apartments. And she's like, come on, man, I need 2 units on top of each other. She handed him some money, and of course, he's gonna do it, man. He looks at that money and he's like, all right, bet. She said she needed it on the 7th and 8th floor. Now, next we see Jukebox go to talk to Lou in the restaurant, and she's saying, man, you can't help me get in the booth with Crown, but you have Jessica helping Famous get in there and stuff. And he's like, man, that had nothing to do with me. That's Jessica helping Famous out. I had nothing to do with that. And Lou said he can't help her, and she said, can you at least help me perform in front of these industry people and stuff like that? And he's just telling her that he can't do it. And then he hands her some food and he's like, eat something. And then she leaves. Then we hear Jukebox on the phone with somebody, and she's saying that she needs some cash and she needs it quick in a hurry because something is coming up and she needs that cash ASAP. Then we see Unique staking out the stash house. Then we see Jukebox looking at the trucks, and when the security guards leave and stuff, she runs over to get what she needs. And the only thing she gets is a polo coat. And it was a pretty nice polo coat too. And she's leaving and some dude grabs her, a security guard. And it's the same security guard that got beat up the first time they did this. And he lets her go because he pretty much owes her a favor because she told her boy the first time to get off this dude. And she pretty much saved this dude's life. So he pretty much owed her a favor. Now, next we see Kanan and Marvin going in the stash, and this is the first time Kanan's seeing the stash, so of course he's surprised of how much money and dope and stuff is in the stash house, and he's like, damn. And Marvin says, look, we gotta pack this up and we gotta move it. So they start packing up the stuff, you know, carrying it out to the car or whatever, and Unique is looking at what's going on, and they go back in the house. Marvin tells Kanan to continue packing things up, and he said he'll be back in about 20 minutes. Now, next we see Jukebox in Nicole's room, and she got this coat for Nicole. She said Nicole can keep it. And in this scene, they're just talking about Ralph Lauren, how that wasn't his real name and stuff like that. Jukebox is telling her that she can keep the jacket. And she said, what happened to you grabbing the jacket to sell to get in the studio and stuff? I thought that was the whole point. And Jukebox is like, no, I want you to keep it. So then Nicole puts on some music and she's dancing around saying she loves that song. And then she gets on the bed. Her and Jukebox are kissing. And I assume they went to the next level because Nicole is reaching down her pants. And yeah, they definitely did something for show, no doubt. Now next we see Kanan packing up the rest of the stuff. He's bringing the boxes by the front door, and somebody comes in with a shotgun, and then some more people come in and they put a gun to Kanan's head. And we see Marvin putting some of the boxes in the stash, and the owner of the store comes up to Marvin and he's like, man, how much more are you gonna bring here? And Marvin says, don't worry about it. And he says, man, it's gonna get busy later on. I need to know what's going on. You know, the customers matter. And Marvin says, man, I'm the only customer that matters. Then we see these dudes got a gun to Kanan's head, and they're saying, where is Marvin taking the stash and stuff like that? And Kanan is saying, man, I don't know shit. They don't tell me nothing. And we see Marvin pulling back up, and he sees what's going on. These dudes are bringing the boxes out of the house and putting them in the van, and Marvin gets pissed off. He rams his car right into the van, and then he starts shooting. Dudes in the van start shooting, and they drive off. And Marvin gets out, he runs in the house, and this dude still has the gun to Kanan's head. And Marvin is like, man, chill, bro, just breathe. And dude is saying that he's gonna put a bullet in Kanan's head, and Marvin's like, man, do you know whose kid that is? And he shot him right in the chest. And then he got over him and he shot him right in the head, and the blood splattered all over Kanan, and Kanan's just so grossed out about it. You know, he has blood on his forehead, his clothes, his hands, and he throws up and everything. And Marvin's like, damn, like, wow, did this really just happen? And, you know, Kanan has to get home. So he hurries up and gets home. He doesn't want his mom to find out what happened. He runs up the steps and he's changing his clothes as quick as he can. And he puts his polo shirt that he had on underneath the bed. And then him and his mom are riding to this class. And then when they stop, Rock says, look, I know I'm hard on you and stuff, and I know you're mad about the people and the guys I bring around and stuff, but look, I really like Symphony, and you need to give him a chance. And she said, no matter what, it's always gonna be me and you. It's me and you against the world. And then Kanan gets out, he goes into the school, he's walking down the hall, and he goes into the classroom, and it's really Symphony teaching the class. So Rock set it up so that Kanan was gonna be in Symphony's class. Like, damn, that was kind of dirty, but it is what it is. Kanan did not look happy. It showed a close-up of Kanan, and he looked upset, pissed, and all that at the same time. You know, he's still shocked at what just happened at the stash house. He still has that on his mind, man. He had blood all over him. Now, next we see Rock go into the room to collect Kanan's dirty laundry. You know, she's grabbing the socks and everything else off the floor, putting them in the laundry basket, and then she sees a shirt under the bed. She picks it up, and it's his bloody shirt. And she's just looking at it like, what? Like, what the hell? And it just shows her looking at the shirt, and then she's staring into space, and it shows her staring out the window. And that was the end of the episode, man. It was definitely a solid episode. It was good. There was 2 bodies in this episode. Unique caught a body, Marvin caught a body, and things are just getting crazier and crazier. Things are gonna heat up for sure, and episode 5 is gonna be crazy. I seriously cannot wait for episode 5. That's gonna be the halfway mark, and the halfway mark in the Power universe is always fire as hell. But what did you guys think of this episode? Comment your thoughts down below. And what are your theories, thoughts, predictions, and everything else for the rest of the season? Keep supporting your boy, and I'll be continuing to bring y'all Power Book 3 Raising Kanan content in the future. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you can never miss a video. If you guys want to donate to the channel, I got links below to the PayPal and Cash App accounts. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's your boy FuturisticMike, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.